Hey everyone, thanks for joining me here in the CFG Culinary Center. My name is Peter Marcos. I'm the test kitchen chef, and today we're going to be talking about what is dry aged beef. So the easiest way to explain what is dry aging is it's basically a controlled process of decay. You're exposing the main muscle to oxygen, which allows all of the natural enzymes and bacteria within the meat to go to work. And what they're doing is they're taking in the oxygen and then they're breaking down the molecular bonds of the meat itself. So in a typical dry aging room, the meat hangs in a humidity controlled environment in a way that it exposes all of its sides to the air with no disruption to the airflow. And as it sits in there over 30, 40, 50, even 60 days, you're slowly pulling that moisture out of the meat. And you're allowing the enzymes and the bacteria to go to work and develop that bark on the outside, which is basically just a layer of mold. But don't be scared by that, because mold is actually used in a lot of cooking. Think of blue cheese, think a lot of different cheeses actually. A simple comparison as to what is happening when you're pulling that moisture out of the beef is think of a pot of beef stock, for example. As you leave that on the heat and it slowly starts to reduce, what's happening is the water content is evaporating and what you're left with is getting more and more concentrated. It's the same thing with the beef. As you're aging it and it's losing that moisture, you're concentrating the beef flavor itself. So muscle cells in beef are made up of different materials. The chief among them would be the proteins that enable the muscles to contract, and the molecules that fuel this process, such as glycogen. So during the dry aging process, these large molecules are broken down into smaller, more fragrant and flavorful molecules. Some of those molecules get broken down into amino acids, which will give you more of a bitter, savory flavor, similar to MSG. And then some of them will actually break down and create sugars, which gives that slightly sweet and nutty flavor to the dry aged beef. So knowing that, it helps to kind of understand why dry aged beef is so expensive. Let's say you start off with whole ribeye that's about 10 kilos. Over the dry aging process, you're evaporating that moisture, concentrating the flavor, but you're also losing a lot of weight. Typically, you're going to be losing anywhere between 30 to 50% of the weight that you start off with. So that's the main reason why dry aged beef is so expensive. The other reason is because it's a long process. It's something that has to be monitored. It's in a controlled environment. A lot of things can go wrong when you're basically letting beef decay. But if you do it properly in a controlled environment, and all of the factors are taken into consideration, you end up with a beautiful, beautiful, very intensely flavored piece of meat. So this particular cut of meat here is a 59-day dry-aged Canadian AAA ribeye steak. It's about 14 ounces. Basically, all I would do to this is just season it with some coarse sea salt and black pepper. And either sear it in a cast iron pan, or today we're going to be grilling it.